piece of custard with peach ice cream on it and chocolate sauce.
Oh, my God. You're gonna make me sick.
You want the pie warmed up?
Why? So the ice cream can melt all over the dish? Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're real tough. Oh, you're real tough. I'll tell you about tough, man. You know, when I was about your age, right? I'm in the gang on the south side of the Falcons,
Hey,
right?
what are you telling me for? I look like Phil Donahue?
Michael Keaton plays a superstar athlete who befriends a wiseacre kid in Touch and Go.
In that scene from Touch and Go, we saw one of the two key relationships in the movie between Michael Keaton as a professional hockey player and a little kid named Lewis who is part of a gang that tries to mug him outside the hockey stadium earlier that night. Keaton chases the little kid and catches him and is going to turn him over to the cops, but the kid talks fast and talks his way out of it, and that's the point at which this hard-shelled, cynical professional athlete gets hooked not only on the kid, but also on his mother. Here's the scene where the mother tries to apologize for her son's behavior, and this is a woman who keeps talking no matter what.
Look, listen. Regardless of how it looks, Luis is a good kid.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's a great kid.
I know. Mugging is not like a great recommendation, but...
Hey, lady, look. I'm sure the little tyke has a bright future ahead of himself. Probably open up a little auto parts shop. You know what I'm saying? But I'm under a little pressure here right now.
I understand. I understand, but I want you to understand also that we are good people, honest people, and I always pay my own way and Luis's way, okay? And I just don't like to feel obligated.
Okay, excuse me. See, I'm constitutionally unable to relieve myself in front of a woman, all right?
Oh.
So, if you give me just a little time alone, we'll go grab a burger and we'll call it even.
Now, ordinarily, when you see a woman follow a man into the men's room, you think, well, this is really, they're reaching a little bit hard for the laugh here, but oddly enough, she carries it off with her whole personality, which is she's very single-minded. That's Maria Conchita Alonso playing the mother. You might remember her as the department store clerk in Moscow on the Hudson. Real good again this time. She's warm and funny in this movie, and so is Michael Keaton. I don't think he's ever been better. And the performance by the little kid, A.J. Naidu, is amazing. He doesn't strike a single false note in Touch and Go, and it's basically the story of the three-way relationship between these people, a love story that has something to say about life in the big city and also about the way the most unexpected people sometimes turn out to have the most in common. Now, this movie has had a rough time from the studio, TriStar, which doesn't seem to have much confidence in it, has been releasing it haphazardly around the country without much of a campaign. I guess they don't know what they have on their hands. I think they have a wonderful movie and a real sleeper.
Yeah, I mean, when this picture is being hidden from big cities, you think that it must be a turkey, and it's just not. I think the performances are very fine. I'm not as enthusiastic as you because I think it sort of tails off at the end in a little bit of predictability. Will they all get together? And I think we know which way the story is going. But as you take the performances down the line, I have to agree with you. Michael Keaton is more than just a cut-up. He plays the character quite real. A successful athlete who realizes that where is he going to be when the career ends. That's the argument she uses on him, and it's thoughtful, it's provocative. We read about it before in the newspapers. We haven't seen it played out in the movies quite so well.
You put your finger on the thing that is wrong with the movie, and that is they introduce a bad guy, and then the end of the movie, once again, is one of these 15-minute formulas where the good guy and the bad guy have a chase and a violent confrontation.
That's the problem with the
film.
film.
Every time I see that in an ambitious movie like this, I know the screenwriter copped out. Apart from that, though, the basic movie is real good.
Okay. Our next film is Night Mother, a successful play on Broadway about suicide, but it's a stagey, much too clever, not the least bit credible melodrama when it is now on film. The actresses appear to be reciting clever lines, painful lines, and that's a shame because the actresses are Anne Bancroft and Sissy Spacek, who both have done much better work before, many times before. Sissy Spacek plays the suicidal one, Bancroft her mother. The whole story takes place in the mother's house, and one of the gimmicks is a slow awakening by Anne Bancroft to the fact that Sissy Spacek, her daughter, is truly, methodically preparing to kill herself on this very day.
You never should have moved back in here with me. If you'd have kept your little house or found another place when Cecil left you, you'd have made some new friends at least. Had a life to lead, had your own things around you. Give Ricky a place to come see you.
I'm tired. I'm hurt. I'm sad. I feel used.
Tired of what?
It all.
Once Bancroft understands that Sissy Spacek is serious about killing herself, which is about a half an hour after we understand it, Bancroft becomes hysterical.
Well, nobody's going to be a bit surprised, sweetheart. This is just like you. Do it the hard way. That's my girl, all right.
Now look, no one wants to see someone as sweet as Sissy Spacek commit suicide, and so a little bit of our heart naturally goes out to her during this picture. But it's just a little bit, because neither of these characters seems lifelike. Contrary to the song from MASH, suicide is not painless. It's messy. And for all the shouting that Anne Bancroft does in Night Mother and the shouting that Spacek does back, this story is not messy or painful enough. The script is simply too clever for its own good. It's a serious subject treated glibly.
And I'll tell you another thing. I thought the director was too clever for his own good. I mean, whenever they open up a stage play, they want to give the actors lots of business to do. But Sissy Spacek in this movie, she sets the clock. She looks in the drawer. She folds all of her clothes. She goes into the kitchen. She goes into the bedroom, goes into the bathroom, the living room. She does the dishes.
Right.
She looks in the closets. This is Death Comes to the Galloping Gourmet.
Right.
I thought it would have been a more daring choice if they had filmed it, for example, like My Dinner with Andre, where two people in a very limited space simply talk to each other instead of all of this distracting business, which seemed totally contrived.
And the reason why it's contrived is a mistake on the part of the director, because we all know if we're going to see Night Mother, everyone's going to know what it's about.
Right.
They're going to know it's about someone committing suicide. Whether she does or not, they're not going to know. So all of this preparation, and it's preparation that fools Bancroft, and the fact that Bancroft doesn't catch on, is playing with us. We feel, come on, speed this movie up, let's get into the meat.
The people in the movie are not at least as smart as the people in the audience. The people in the audience are eventually going to start thinking about something else. In Touch and Go, Michael Keaton gets mugged by a kid and falls in love with his mother. The movie's a funny, warm-hearted sleeper, 2 thumbs up.